Some manufacturers in Singapore have put in place safe distancing and precautionary measures at their factories as they get ready to reopen once the circuit breaker measures lift. These include plans to shift production lines and stagger work hours. Michelle Teo with more.
Before coming in for work, employees have to take their temperature, log in their entry, and sanitize their hands. They'll also need to fill in a health declaration form. Manufacturing firm Watson EP Industries already has these measures in place, as some of its production lines were given the go-ahead to operate during the circuit breaker period. Because the firm hires some older workers who are at higher risk of developing serious health complications if infected with COVID-19, it says it will continue with these precautions even after the circuit breaker ends.
Going forward, when we start resuming full operations, we have 2 geographical sites. So we'll split the teams and also with staggered hours at the different geographical sites. That will help to reduce the risk of having some infected, one group having infected person and then infect the rest of the entire workforce.
For food manufacturing firm Sakai Holdings, it says it uses automation in its centralized kitchen to reduce the need for more workers to be on site. And in its outlets, some handover of duties are done digitally to prevent contact between persons. The firm says this is to help mitigate any risk of contamination of its food production.
So if you now have 2 people on the manufacturing plant, can you do it one? Or can we do it none? That the whole line is automated. With that kind of management of risk, then you will see less infection or almost no infection in the workplace.
Safe distancing measures aside, companies now also have to ensure that their workers do not mix beyond their working hours, which can be a challenge.
So we could only do a lot of reminders. Soft approach method is really an appeal to them to be socially aware and then socially responsible to make sure that they do the right thing.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic is expected to be prolonged, some industry players say now is a good time for manufacturers to future-proof their business from outbreaks.
Business has to look at that as a new model going forward, and that their whole business model, whether their pricing, how they are actually negotiating and rebuilding their business model, has to make sense, and it has to be sustainable for a longer term.
Due to the disruption in global supply chains, manufacturing is one of the sectors that have been hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. That's seen by the latest Purchasing Managers Index reading, which slumped to its weakest since 2008. Still, manufacturers hope that as countries gradually ease on their lockdown measures, they'll be able to ride on an eventual recovery of the sector.